Hey guys, welcome back. So in this class, we're going to introduce the reset cycle, which is the engine behind everything. I started using this a couple years ago and it has been an absolute game changer for me. I have used it with friends, with family, with partners, and everyone that has used it has seen the benefits of this system. I use it all of the time and I absolutely swear by it as the thing that started to really change everything for me. So the reset cycle can be done at any point. I recommend doing it once a month at the same time every month, so maybe at the start of the month, and that gives you the ability to reflect back on the month that's just passed, and it enables you to start to look towards the month ahead. And that way you can start to make real actionable goals and real actionable changes. And by focusing just on the month ahead, it removes so much stress and overwhelm. If you're anything like me, I get so caught up in what's 6 months down the line, what's 2 years down the line, and you play this never-ending game of when this happens, I'll do this, when that happens, I'll do that. And you start thinking about the worst case scenarios in everything, which just keeps you stuck because it generates anxiety. So the good thing about the reset cycle is it keeps you anchored in the month that's just passed. So you have information that you can reflect on and you can start to learn from things that are happening in your life. And then it gives you a direction for the next month. And it's just this repeatable process. It's very simple. It can take anywhere from 10-15 minutes up to an hour. It's really how much energy and time you want to put into it. So it's broken down into two parts. There's clear and there's commit. And as we work through this course, I will be guiding you through and we will separate them. So we'll start with the clear and then we will later on in the course move to commit. The reason why we do it this way is because when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling burnt out and stressed and we are lacking that direction or lacking that next step, when we focus on the next step and we focus on the outcome, we end up just creating more overwhelm for ourselves. So the important thing that we need to do is create the space for us to move forward. So we need to focus on clear. We need to remove what is not working. We need to remove the distractions. We need to essentially protect our peace of mind, because when we have clarity and when we feel clearer, it's then much easier for us to identify what our goals are. It's much easier for us to find that next step. So we begin with clear. We want to remove the noise and we want to remove those things which are holding us back and keeping us stuck. So that can be habits that we want to get rid of. That can be thought patterns that we want to get rid of. Energy drainers. It's also looking at things like forgiveness. So you start to name it, and by naming it, we can then actually start to address it. So you commit to clearing the idea that you're not good enough. Now, that's obviously something which is going to take time. It's not going to just disappear as soon as you mentioned it. But by actively saying, I no longer want to believe that I am not good enough, you can start to take actionable steps in your day-to-day to start proving to yourself that you are good enough, because you are. And then we move to energy drainers and forgiveness, which I feel is actually the hardest part, because it takes a level of actually looking at what we are doing. It's taking accountability for our own actions. But it's also looking at people in our circles. It's looking at the people around us and starting to think about, is there something that I can change which is going to make my life easier? And it can be hard to practice forgiveness. But if you think about it from the perspective of, if someone has upset you, maybe that's an ex-partner, maybe that's a friend that hasn't messaged you back, then that will just keep draining you as you continue through the year. So you're already stressed, you are already spending all of these hours doing all of these things that you do each and every day. And then at the back of your mind, you've got that person or that thing that upset you and it really drives a emotional reaction from you, that's an energy drainer. And it provides us with a framework that we can start to identify what it is that we're holding on to. And then we move on to the commit side. So this is the fun part. This is the bit where it's actually looking at the actionable things we can do. With the clear, it is much more about self-awareness. It's much more about reflection, which can be difficult. And even now, 2 years later, sometimes I do actually find it quite difficult to recognize what thought patterns are destructive, or what relationships I'm continuing which are draining me, or people that maybe have upset me 3 years ago or 6 years ago. And you're sat there and you still have that kind of voice in your head of wanting to prove them wrong or wanting to prove them right, and it's just affecting you. And once we start looking at the commit stage, we can actually start to make some actionable steps. So what I tend to do with the goals is write a list of 5 to 10 goals. Now, these can be something really simple and straightforward. It could be, I want to go for a walk every day this month. That's something that is actionable, that you could do, that you could start to do. But the goal also might be, I want to make £1 million. That's something that is not going to happen overnight, but it's having the balance of the goals in order to create drive to keep moving forwards. So we want a balance of goals that are achievable and actionable so we can start to build momentum, but we also want to have some larger goals to start to work towards something. So once we have our goals written down, and what you'll find is month to month you'll start ticking stuff off. You might have the same goals, your goals might even change, and that's the interesting thing. And then what happens is we just start cycling back at the end of the month, and we can look back and we can look at our goals for the month and we can decide, did we achieve that? Did we block ourselves from achieving that goal? And we can start bringing it back into the clear. And it's this actionable cycle, which is an ongoing process, which is the theme of this course. It provides you with the frameworks and the tools to start making changes in your everyday. So just to summarize, this is the reset cycle. It's something that we will be going through in this course. So I don't want you to do anything now. I don't want you to start working through it. I don't want you to worry about it. It's not extreme discipline. It's not anything like 75 hard. It's not some sort of military action of you must do this because you said you were going to do it. This is just a tool that you can refer back to and you can start to integrate into your monthly routine to just check in with yourself. And it comes back to the mindfulness and the mindset. Just have that check-in, that period where you sit down and you go, what do I want? What do I want to work towards? What is draining my energy? What thought patterns am I continuing which are holding me back? What steps can I take? So this is really simple and easy stuff that you can start to do. And as we move through this course, we will be building our own reset cycle. And the more that we do this, the easier it gets. And like anything that we go through in this course, it's all about repetition. It's not about making massive life changes. It's honestly about keeping everything simple, bringing everything back to basics. And it's just doing those reps, and over time it will just get easier, and this will just become natural. You might not even need to sit down at the end of every month and think, okay, what do I need to clear? What do I need to commit? Because you'll just be doing this in your day-to-day, and you'll just have those goals that are just kind of spinning, and you'll have the self-awareness to understand when something is draining your energy or when there's a negative thought pattern that you're clinging on to. I'm very excited for you guys to start using this one. It's been an absolute game changer for me, and I'm super grateful that you're taking the time out of your busy lives to trust the process and start to really lean into this course. So thank you, and I will see you on the next one.